today is over 10,000 today. Apparently 2 dams failed as a result of this Mediterranean flood, massive casualties in Libya. And what can I say? Hold on these people and their thoughts. And if anybody doesn't have anything else to say, we'll just bow our heads and have a moment of silence. Okay. Today, our agenda is first to welcome everyone who's here in person and on Zoom. And also, we are going to introduce our officers and board of directors who are in attendance. I'm Reed Morgan, president, and Chris Radulich is our vice president. Our treasurer is Walt Seeley. Our treasurer is, secretary is in Europe having a good time, and God bless her. Does anybody know when she's going to be back? I assume she'll be back by next meeting.
Yeah, it's going to be. She's gone 3 weeks, and she left the beginning of September. Yeah.
Good, so she'll be back for our next meeting. And our assistant treasurer is here, which is Susan Radulich. Vicki Lowry is not here tonight in person or on Zoom because she's just had hip replacement surgery. I have been in touch with her the last 2 days, and she has had the surgery. And she's at least able to walk around inside the house, so she's making a good recovery, and we'll report that. And and is here who was our member of Sergeant at Arms. I guess you want a director of this. Office, he's sergeant. Sergeant. Okay, and I don't think I missed anybody that's here. And
Mary.
Oh, Mary, sure. I'm so sorry. Yeah, there's Mary, who is on our board. So that's we are third member if we are successful in getting approval for a new board of directors member tonight, which I'll bring you up to date on after we have our guest speaker. Right now, I'd like to introduce. Will you be able to hear Jay, or only through?
Only through Zoom, unless.
How about if we hold this up to the laptop? Would that possibly work? No feedback loop.
No.
So what do you want to do? Just try it and put your laptop.
Try it
on the table. It's a little closer.
Yeah, I got the volume up all the way.
We're doing the best we can. Whoops. There we go. Right.
All right, see how it works. All right, Jay.
Jay,
Hey.
see what we can do with the volume available.
Okay, could everybody hear me? If they can't, good evening, fellow Democrats. I'm in you're in Hillsborough, East Hillsborough. I'm way out west in Pinellas County. I'm also a fire commissioner, elected official here. And I've been, I know Chris and I know Walt for years. And I've been working on this project to bring back a program from the days of the Great Depression. And it was the New Deal's Forest Army. It was also called Franklin Roosevelt's Forest Army, the Civilian Conservation Corps. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I turned it around.
Okay.
It helps a little bit.
Okay, that's great. I'll try to talk as loud as I can. So anyway, the CCC was from 1933 to 1942. It ended effectively with the advent of Pearl Harbor and World War II. But a lot of them, there was 3.5 million young men, a fifth of our males of that era in the population served in the CCC, and half of them were in uniform. So 1.7 million of that served in the CC served in World War II, and 1 out of 6 graves from that perished in World War II served in the CCC or were alumni, and 40 of them got the Congressional Medal of Honor. And the last World War II veteran that was that had the Congressional Medal of Honor from Iwo Jima just passed away back in October from West Virginia. And anyway, these guys, it was an all-male program. It didn't include females, and the only females were in there that were administration people, like the Department of Labor Secretary was a woman named Frances Perkins, and she helped with the idea of bringing in the U.S. Army to take care of the administration of the boys in that time. And Eleanor Roosevelt tried to get women involved, and she called it the she, but it didn't pan out. But now it would be including this program reestablished would bring back the ladies in it, and so there would be men and young men and women working on conservation projects all over the country if it's brought back. So anyway, there is right now there is one bill out there that is trying to train firefighters by Senator Markey of Oregon and a Republican named Denome. I think from Colorado is Republican. So it's got several senators that are co-sponsoring it. But for the past since 2009, I've been working with a lady named Marcy Captor. She's the longest serving member in Ohio, and she also established the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. So she's famous for bringing that bill up. But she's been working on the CCC project since 2009 and hasn't introduced a bill yet, but hopefully this month she will. And if you want to call her office and push her on it, I would be happy if you could do that as you're not her constituents, but if she hears from people around from East Hillsborough, that would be great. There's another congressman from Colorado had a bill out, and that was the Goose of Boulder area, and he hasn't reintroduced a bill yet either. So it's all messed up because Joe Biden brought out an idea for a climate corps, civilian climate corps, and messed up the civilian. So I think that that's a problem right there. Joe is trying, but I think that the CCC program is known around, as being one of the most successful government programs and best loved programs. And I don't know why he's trying to bring, he's trying to bring his idea out there too. And so is AOC and the other left wing of the party. They should just relax and think about FDR and bring that in 2020. In 2025, hopefully we'll get a majority in Congress and pass a reestablished CCC program. And maybe after that, we could bring back the WPA and the FWA for us older Americans to help out with the infrastructure. Is there any, and then also I have a website at goccc.org, another one at goccci.org, and I have a Facebook page and on GoCCC and Civilian Conservation Corps for Green Jobs Creation, and they're on Facebook. And I'm looking right now for a person that knows how to do the books. I'm looking for a treasurer in our organization. I have a vice president and I have a secretary, but I'm looking for a treasurer right now. So I can take any questions if you have.
Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll turn the meeting back to you guys.
Reed, can you ask him what that website was again?
Could you repeat your website, please, Jay?
Okay, like Go Navy, Go Air Force, go ccc.org.
GoCCC.org. Oh, thank you. That's what I put. CCC.
Thank you.
GoCCC.org, is that correct?
Correct.
Yes,
That's
that is it. GoCCC.org. Sorry for the relay. You're warbling a little bit your last couple minutes for some reason. It's just a never-ending audio mess tonight. I apologize for our infrastructure.
Well, we're all working on it, so that's the best thing. We'll get it straightened out. Roosevelt said had a quote that we can not build a future for our youth, but we can build them for the future. And I think that's a great motto for the CCC. Or we can take it was their unofficial motto back in the day.
I lived for several years in Westchester County, and there was a lot of parkways that were built in that period. And I don't know if it was the CCC or the WPA, but a lot of the very scenic parkways going from New York City north of the city, that a lot of those dates were in the 30s. So I don't know if you know anything about them. Was that part of what Frank FDR did directly or indirectly?
Yes. He developed the CCC his first month in office. He had a civilian works program, CWP, and then he created in 1935 the WPA, Works Progress Administration, and then another one was the FWA, Federal Works Administration, and they worked on our infrastructure. They built airfields, they built schools, they built stadiums, all you name it, they built it for the people. So there's a lot of those structures still standing today.
Anybody else here grow up in an area where there's a lot of infrastructure from the FDR era? Anybody other than me?
I used to live in upstate New York, all the parks, parkways.
Yeah, no, the
That was-
parkways were built by Moses. They had nothing to do with it.
Uh,
Literally, Robert Moses.
Oh, in the 30s.
that's Sally Quinn speaking, right?
Well, did you like camping?
Sally Quinn said that upstate New York, there was also a lot of
Upstate.
FDR period infrastructure as well. So it's not just directly north of New York City where I lived.
You ever go camping, you'll find many of the campgrounds were built by the CCC.
Were these campgrounds that were built by the CCC, are they part of the national park system, or is it in addition to and instead of?
Yeah, the FDR park, but up in Turea, that buildings are still there originally. Yeah, northern Florida.
Northern Florida too.
One of many others.
Cool.
I
Cool.
think the Blue Ridge Parkway too.
Oh, yes, Blue Ridge Parkway, yes. Yes.
She was just at a place that had this, if she went into some of the parks in Colorado, that I saw a lot of names that, was from the CCC. You know.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see them?
Donna, do you have your experience to relate here? Here's the mic.
No.
No? No? All right. All right, are there any questions for Jay?
No, would, Dr. Pell's instructors at Yellowstone be from that plan?
How much of the infrastructure at Yellowstone is also from the FDR period? Do you have any knowledge of that, Jay?
I imagine there's a lot that was built out there in Colorado and Wyoming, a lot that was built out in Nevada. I mean, all 50 states, including the territories of Alaska and Hawaii, had CCC. Puerto Rico and Virgin Islands had CCC. And it would now include 4 more territories we have in the Pacific. So we could take a kid from Florida and send him all the way to American Samoa out there near Japan to work on like a national park or work on the infrastructure of their territory, unless they become a state. Like Puerto Rico is trying to become a state, and Washington D.C. is trying to become a state. So, but they would be from the age. Okay, the age limit would be from 18 to 25 or maybe 28 years of age, and they have to be willing to work. It's going to be tough work for them to picking shovel work too, planting trees, and then fighting forest fires. There was they developed over 800 state parks around the country. So they state parks, and they helped develop. I think there's 65 national parks. I think that they developed about 30 of them. So and they also worked on building the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. That was one of their big ones in the East Coast, and then out west was they built the Pacific Crest Trail and the Appalachian Trail here. So they did a lot of work, and they also built a shelter belt of trees from North Dakota all the way down to Texas. And most of those trees are gone now, but that would be a good project for them to rebuild that to stop possibly a dust bowl from occurring right now.
Why are the trees gone? They were just cut down illegally?
They were the farm over the years. The farmers just cut them down, or expanded their farmland, and just planted wheat or whatever over, or they died. They probably died too over not getting watered or not getting taken care of. But especially in Texas, I think the stands in Texas are gone because of the drought.
Hmm.
And they are having a lot of problems out there with dust storms in Texas.
Yeah, I was gonna say, cutting down the trees in the Dust Bowl, you think they would have learned their lesson?
Apparently, there was a great historian. He wrote. His name was Thor Vidal, and he said we're the United States of amnesia. So anyway, I just hope that if people want to contact me, my contact information is I could give it to, well, Chris has it if you want to contact me, if you want to help out and maybe make a call to members of Congress. You could join me on a call to members of Congress. There's one Republican in New York that's definitely for the CCC, and I'm surprised that she's the third in power for the Republican Party, Stefanik. Her district lays in the Adirondack Mountains. I think I'm done. Let me leave. Let me leave.
No audio, no audio. No audio, Chris. Can't hear nothing.
Okay, never mind. Okay, now you'll get it.
Um,
Go ahead.
All right. Well, you gotta let me know when we're going to go, because you definitely have tickets available, and like when you sell them, I've got someone that would like to buy at least one. Okay, obviously, there is no secretary's report, because she's in Europe. And that gets us next to items of business. One is, we need to approve our bylaws. They have been in place since August 2021 and the current form. The board approved them in August 2021. We do not have a record that they were approved in the digital engine. And we need to have proof of minute that it was, I'm giving feedback.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so we need to approve them tonight. And I've sent them out to all the membership. Chris did, almost a month ago, because we thought we were going to do this in August and didn't get to it. So we're gonna do it tonight. It is literally word for word the same as it was in August 2021 that the board approved. It is the same that is the current standard of the state of Florida, which the Hillsborough County is also in compliance with. So all we need to do is officially approve it. So would someone like to make the motion to approve our bylaws? Okay, Donna Ford made the motion. Would someone like to second the motion? Susan Radelich seconded it. All right, I'd like to put it to a vote. Everybody that's in favor of approving the bylaws as they are now and have been since at least August 9th, 2021, would you please raise your hand? Everyone present says aye. How about you, Gifford?
Yeah, he raised his hand.
Okay, I couldn't see it. There we go. All right, it's unanimous. That's approved. The other thing that's new business, we are short a couple directors on our board. When I read the bylaws, I noticed that it said we need to have 4 directors in addition to the officers. We're fine with our officers, all positions are filled. However, we've got Mary and we've got Vicky, we have 2, we need to have 4. The board has nominated within itself, Walt's wife, Catherine, to be another board member. She has graciously.
You have Emmett, too, so you have 3.
Okay, I wasn't sure if he was the board, that's why I asked, is he an officer or is he a board member?
It's a board member.
Oh, he's a board member then, okay.
He's the sergeant of arms, which would be the same thing as the director.
Okay, because specifically I was told that officer cannot be a board member, they're officers.
No.
That's why I need.
Yeah, but it's sergeant of the arms, is not an
Well,
officer.
that's all I was asking, because it was not clear to me, you now clarified that, so now we're gonna be in compliance. Because we have Mary and Walt and Vicky and Catherine is the 4th. She has been nominated, she is accepted, she's signed a loyalty oath.
Yeah, not Walt.
I'm sorry, Emmett.
Okay.
Senior moment. I don't have some earrings, and I bought them, but they're in my pocket, they're doing me a lot of good, there you go. $4 grand. So I'm gonna ask again if someone would please make a motion to the floor.
I'll make a motion that all of the directors be nominated to the board.
Well, it's basically it's for Catherine.
Okay, Catherine, just Catherine.
Catherine,
Okay, I will move that Catherine be put nominated on the board.
it's a recent appointment, as rather cycle, normally it's nominations in December. And elections March, whatever this Russ, Russ is a stickler for this stuff. So it's a recess appointment and we will renominate as ordinance with the bylaws officers who are up for re-election or do not care to be re-elected, new members. And same with the board. But for now, all they ask is that every somebody second the floor motion that we appoint Catherine by recess appointment to the board. She
Mary.
seconded by Mary. Okay, now we're gonna put it to a vote. Everybody in favor of Catherine being on the board, here we go, it's unanimous.
Catherine, you go anyway,
Did you like, oh, I thought she was. That was my mistake.
You didn't do a post.
Well, everybody was for it. So, nobody is available to oppose. It was unanimous. So congratulations, Catherine. I appreciate your willingness to step up, having been in that position myself. So that's good. All right. Oh, where's my minutes? I get to break one piece of paper. Thanks. Okay, the other new business, just to let you be aware of, you've seen it here in the agenda. It was in the email that Chris sent out. There is a National Registration Day on the 13th of September. And I get that right? That's the 13th. I thought it was the 19th.
It is. There's a class on the 13th. A class on the 16th, I think it's Saturday.
Yeah, and then the actual event is the 19th. So
Yeah,
I screwed up. I got the wrong day here. It's on the 19th. And they are largely in local libraries. The one exception is Plant City. They're having it at the tax collector's office, the DMV, that nice new building. I just went there the last few months to step up for that used to be on Redmond Parkway.
Are you sure about that? Because
Yes.
I advertised and mobilized at the library, nobody corrected me. So that's what's mobilized.
Well, what I read, we'll check into this. I read that it was at the tax collector's office, that
Yeah,
the
the
building
tax
in Plant City.
there's one in Bloomingdale's library, one in the Riverview Library, and I
One
don't
in
know.
Brandon, I've been asked to run the Brandon, and that's why I'm asking us to volunteer for that.
And the DMV in the tax collector's office on Falkenberg is this one.
Oh,
But there are two on Falkenberg, the north one, and
where's Plant City having theirs?
I was told it was in the library, and that's what I put in mobilize.
All right. I will double check right now. Okay. Okay, and so once again, if you could please sign up for one of the 3 shifts at the Brandon Library, which is on Vonderburg, right off of Parsons. This is Parsons in between Route 60 in the north and Lumsden on the south. And I appreciate it. Regina asked me if I would move from Bloomingdale, which is kind of where I've always been, and take over the team captain job. They need somebody to do it at the Brandon Library. I said yes, and I'll take 2 shifts: the setup shift in the morning and the knockdown shift in the afternoon from 2 to 4. And obviously then there is the 12 to 2 shift that I will not be there. So we just need like 3 people in each of the shifts. And if you would go to the Mobilize site and sign up for one of the empty slots just for 2 hours, that's all I'm asking. I'd appreciate it. And the training is tomorrow. I have to sign up for that tonight.
Yeah.
And so if you're gonna do it, please sign up for either the 13th training tomorrow or for the Zoom session on Saturday.
They're both Zoom sessions, but they're both Zoom.
I understand, but the other one is Saturday.
What time Saturday?
Oh, wait a minute, we know, cause he signed up for it.
Saturday?
It's a Saturday, yeah.
Yeah,
What time?
in the
What time?
Riverview. There's.
No, training on Saturday.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, it's a Saturday, it's a Zoom meeting. I just need to get to my mail, because I have no memory. Not in my calendar. It doesn't exist.
Dina just got me an email.
It's 11 o'clock.
Ouch. The one tomorrow night is.
It's on Zoom. Exactly, Saturdays is supposed to be more of a refresher, they say. Well, lots of, I couldn't make any day for Saturday.
Right. I work on Saturday. We've had we have the possibility of getting the
10:30 it starts actually.
training that we can hopefully forward, but I'm working on that because there are other people who can't make their one session. Some people do.
10:30 to 11:30, Saturday the 16th on Zoom. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. But you can only make Saturday from 10:30 to 11:30, I'm sure you can get what you need. Because you gotta have one of their, so you can only make Saturday at 10:30, 11:30, so be it.
There can't be a lot. They have an app, which I don't know what it does. But you know, they really, I guess what they're gonna do is use iPads. To here, you sign up for your voter, for your, it's not voter registration, it's. Yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
It's both.
we're billing it as voter registration because that makes it seem pure, but we're really looking to get people re-enrolled with vote by mail.
I sent out around 400 emails.
so can you use your own iPad?
Board working on the table? Or you mean for what?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why you couldn't.
Well, we've got a variety of ways that people can get into it. What we're encouraging people to do is use their smartphone and go right. We're encouraging people to go into their smartphone and go right to the supervisor of elections site and put their request in to re-enroll. That makes it cleaner. They come to the table, they get it done, they go away, there's no paper involved. But there are alternatives if that doesn't work for them.
So how are they collecting information for vote builders? If it's all online.
That's
They're not,
something that I'm.
not if you're just doing the vote by mail renewal.
But they'll pull that down off of the
We get,
SOE side anyway.
right, well, once it gets into the SOE site, we can access it and see what the status is of re-enrollments and registrations.
So that alleviates somebody sitting there putting in all that
Yes.
data.
Yes, and it also eliminates,
Keeps Ron DeSantis.
it also eliminates that paper that has to be moved from one place to another place to just get it.
Or else there's a huge fine if you don't do it within proper time frame.
Yeah, we're not doing paper on voter registration anymore for that reason.
Yes, I say we, this is the broadest we, the HCDPC will not get and does not have the ID that you would need to do voter registration by paper. Because that's where you have the liability if you don't do it according to the law. Huge civil penalties accrue per occurrence. So by refusing to do the game the way that the DeSantis administration wants to penalize you for, we change the rules to the game, which is we can do everything directly by the voter themselves, digitally, electronically, right into the SOE's office, and thereby eliminate that part of the catch. And the part of the catch that remains, and it was stressed by Humira Asol last night on the steering committee, is that people do not know that they have been screwed by Ron. Okay, and I'll just put it that bluntly. When they are contacted, either by email or by phone banking, knowing that phone banking is largely people that go to voicemail, they don't answer their phone anymore, I don't either. They then say, oh, we didn't know, and they'll get online and renew. The renewal rates for vote by mail are pathetic, which is the whole point of why Paul Ron did it. It is very, very harmful and pernicious to our re-enrollment rates for vote by mail. So this in-person effort on September 19th is a one-day effort to try to catch up a little bit. And it's only one day and it's not going to be enough. So the other thing that we've been encouraged to do is do phone banking on this campaign. And you can do that, sign up, mobilize at the HCDC website and just do it from your home. You're going to get voicemail, I'll just tell you right now, and that's okay. Just tell them, hey, do you know you do not have the right to get a vote by mail ballot unless you re-enroll, and you have to re-enroll now.
The other thing that Chris alluded to is we've got an email campaign. And that's the other way we're getting in touch with people about this. And I've sent out 1,000 emails, and I've got people sending out 400, 500. And you're rarely going to get a response. I think of the 1,000 I've sent out, I've got maybe 3 people responding. One person said they no longer live in Florida. 2 people said, thanks for telling me, I re-enrolled today. I have no idea about the rest of them, but the SOE site will tell that tale. And according to Humira, the people who have re-enrolled are people who we have contacted. So it's really important that we contact as many people as we can.
3 ways. One is on the 19th. Sign up for one shift, hopefully at Brandon Library officially as part of this club, or any other library. If you can't make it to Brandon, I don't care. You do it by phone banking, and you can do it by email, and then this effort has to be ongoing, not just one day in September.
Question, we know how many people are affected because the supervisor of election sent out mailings back, I don't know, at least 6 months ago or earlier. And gave us a form to just send us back if you want to. So how many people were left out?
It's not that they were left out, they haven't re-enrolled.
Everyone's left out. Everyone is left out unless you positively choose to opt back in.
Yeah, but the supervisor of elections sent around.
And they're not responding.
I didn't get one.
I did.
I didn't.
I think I did, I would remember that long ago.
They did. Yes, wondering how many people.
The percentages are dismal in the numbers that have re-enrolled. That's why we're on this campaign, because we've got to get people to do it. Yeah. Well, it's not-
120%. Under 20%.
I have the attention of a squirrel. Or I should say a dog. I don't know if you've ever seen that, like on that, where they're talking and they say squirrel. Well, that's me. So if I don't do it immediately, I don't have some way of having reminded me to do it in the next 5 minutes, every time I pass something, it's gone. It ain't coming back until somebody says, you didn't do that.
It's so far away from the election, if I'll do it later.
Yeah, I'll do it later. And of course, later means 5 minutes later, you've forgotten.
And look at the paperwork, and look at the paper there.
And a lot of people don't even look at those flyers.
You can't get junk mail, doesn't come in the door.
So I got one too, and my husband and I both got one. One of the things that we're asking is that everybody who knows this, tell at least 3 other people. Because, and ask them to tell 3 people. So we get the word out and people wake up to, wait a minute, this isn't the way it used to be. Because we tend to think, well, that's the way it was last time, so I must be okay, but it isn't.
And you know, no matter what you do, when voting time comes, they'll still do people say, well, I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, always, yeah.
Right.
It's kind of that way when I used to go out on troubles in the phone company. And I'd walk into a central office and they tell me it's been broke since day 1. I figured that meant it was broke somewhere in the last week.
Now, that's all that's on our official agenda. Rudina, is there anything else other than obviously the vote by mail and the voter registration? Is there anything else as a regional director you wanted to bring up?
Just if you have access to Mobileye, check it, because there are things coming up all the time. We're really starting to create momentum. You know, November of next year is gonna happen. There will be a presidential election. There is a senator up for grabs here in Florida. We're hoping to replace Mr. Scott.
Baltimore.
Well,
Baltimore.
we call him Skeletor in my house, but
Some people were.
But, you know, we are ramping up and there are things going on all over Hillsborough County. So the more you know, the more you can plug in, bring other people with you. We really have to create momentum and not let this just feel like a ho-hum election because it's anything but. Sorry, timing is everything.
Chris, I just grabbed a bite.
What? Okay.
Anything.
Anybody here got anything to say? Gifford, you got anything you need to want to talk about?
But how's he feeling?
Oh, can I recommend a book?
Okay.
It's called,
If you say something now, we can hear you.
No, not really. I am just listening, and what I want to find out, did you say the voting, the registration system has changed?
Yeah.
Did you hear me?
Yeah. It's just that if the mic is too close to here, let me move away from it. Say it again.
Oh my
The
God.
voting has changed. He asked about the voting has changed.
The registration.
Oh, registration, sorry.
Vote by mail. Oh, okay, well, we're trying to vote by mail, and then vote it out after registration. Hard way, but I don't have the right.
I don't need to fix this before the next meeting.
Yes, I'm gonna hope they're all bring speakers. See if I.
Adjourn.
It is. Stop. Yeah.
stop politics, stop politics, stop politics, stop politics.
Actually, I'm trying to get rid of it. There we go. Okay. What was that?
Oh, okay. It's a book by Gary Gerskell, who is professor of American government at Cambridge in the UK. Okay. Yeah, you can do 5 times, I'm sure, every word. Okay, I wanted to recommend the book by Gary Gerskell, who's professor of American government at Cambridge in the United Kingdom. He's written a book called Liberty and Coercion. And the reason it's interesting, it explains how places like Florida can become centers of tyranny and nobody can do anything about it.
How do you spell his last name?
GERSTLE. It's $15 on the Kindle. Okay.
What does tyranny mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I've heard it 1,000 times. I don't know what that means.
Oh, well, gee, that's when they,
You don't know either.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Look it up.
Yeah,
We've heard it 1,000 times, but no.
yeah, we think we all know what it means.
Did anybody watch the Rachel Maddow report last night?
Yes.
Was that incredible with Putin and Russians and hitmen going around the world? Not like we didn't know it.
Right.
Then the other thing was Elon Musk
Elon Musk, that's really,
interfering with the Iran,
oh
the
my God.
Ukraine war. Yeah.
What,
I'll never find it.
Chris is referring to last month's Rachel Maddow show, which her two topics, one was Putin's army of assassins that he sends around the world to hits in other countries. And one of them is in jail. He got caught in Germany, in Berlin, and they want to swap him. He wants his hitman back. And that is why they captured Evan G something. He's a Wall Street Journal reporter who's a native born Russian, speaks obviously Russian is first language. And they grabbed him as swap. Same with Brittany Griner was seized and Brittany Griner was seized. A spy, an arms merchant, swap for her. And Putin does this dynamically, continuously. And I think we all knew that more or less. We had Rachel Maddow just running upstate that's ongoing right now. What was the other thing that she was getting on the CSS? Oh, Elon Musk. Elon Musk personally decided to turn off a portion of the Starlink network, just as the Ukrainians were going to use it to have a multiple simultaneously naval drone swarm attack the Russian fleet in the Black Sea in the port of Sevastopol. And he decided, I'm not going to let my network be used for war, and he turned it off. And lost the signal and just wrecked, terminated, sank, whatever. And so he personally is making world level strategic decisions as to what will and will not happen. And that's way too much power for any one individual. And that's what Rachel was on her soapbox about. And I don't disagree with her, but that's the issue we have with our billionaires. With Amazon and with Elon Musk and with Zuckerberg, these people have so much power and they don't deserve it. And it should be stripped from them. So anyhow, other thing I wanted to let you know, there will be a 5th indictment of Trump. So we're not done yet. This one's a few months away, but it's coming, it's inevitable. It's from the state of Arizona with the fake elector scheme. They're going after the Secretary of State has committed to bring charges, or the Attorney General working with the Secretary of State in Arizona on working on this. And it's nice because once again, let's keep him in court forever. He's probably going to do his best to get one juror on every indictment. The Trump-fancy maggot that refused to indict us, convict on anything, but then the next best we can do is just keep him in court the rest of his life. And keep him
Yes.
well, that's all right. Only for within the Republican Party.
You get more donations.
Yeah. Well, it's a grift, but keep it tied up in court forever. And kind of campaign can run in court all over the US 3 days a week. So anyhow, that's all I have. If anybody else doesn't have anything else, I'll ask them to make a motion to adjourn.
There are still some t-shirts left.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you're going to be doing voter registration, it's best to have a Democratic t-shirt on.
Are we, can we do that with voter
Where-
registration?
We're waiting, I'm waiting for Ione to give me the final word on that.
'Cause I thought
There
we
are
were gonna-
arguments for and against being identified with the party when you're voter registering. It's supposed to be politically neutral, but I'm still waiting for Ione to weigh in on that.
They wouldn't even let me wear my pin or anything.
I would say in this case, there's nothing wrong with wearing a shirt. We're
I'm not
doing
saying
vote
we
by
should.
mail.
What was that?
Doing vote by mail. No, I understand your point. If we were out there saying voter registration,
But that's how it's being
Assault
billed.
us.
But that, we always did,
Yeah.
voter registration, we always wore our blue,
Yeah.
whatever t-shirt
But
we had.
these are strange times, so, you know, we don't want to be kicked out of a venue because somebody perceives that we,
Like to the political.
yeah, that we politicize voter registration.
What did you ever do? I was thinking the same.
Yeah.
thing.
You know,
Sure. Decide you too.
sure, but you know, the shirts are great if we get the green light, I say, you know, wear everything that you can to identify, because I'd rather have a Republican not come up to my table because I'm identifying as a Democrat and they don't want to deal with me. That's great. That works for me. But, you know, I just have to defer to whatever Ione tells us.
We have t-shirts. You're in your possession. Don't leave them here like last time. I had to come up here and get them.
Yeah.
They threw away the box, they were in a box and they were going to throw everything away. But Andy saw them. The guy that works the net, he is really nice.
Ah.
All right, that's it.
Okay, I have one thing, the donations to Echo, did anyone bring any? I did, but it's in my car.
I can take them. I can take them, yeah.
And I have a jar for Mr. Reed there. It'll be a jar.
Oh, and it's a jar for the apple butter.
Harry, you know that the new Echo place is right around the corner from you, just over the
That's
library.
where our library used to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wanted that library for the Riverview Homeless Club, but
Oh, they,
no, they gave it to the Echo, which is.
well, I can drop that off there. It was on, you know, like you say, I can walk.
Let me middleman. Middleman.
That's what I would do. I would take it on Thursday morning and hand it to Steve who runs that one.
All right, everybody, I guess we're officially adjourned. Thank you all for attending. And thank you. Gifford.
Gifford.
Bye, Gifford.
Yes.
Yeah, Gifford. He's our Zoom. We got at least one.
Say hi to Don.
And I
Hi,
had
Donna.
a lot of people when I called, said they were gonna be on Zoom.